the jet train, the turbo train, the Metroliner. These flops of attempts at American high-speed rail were nothing compared to what could have been. A giant nuclear-powered passenger train cruising at up to 250 miles per hour that ended with what was probably the greatest model train crash in all of human history. This is the story of Supertrain, the greatest passenger train you can ride on the boob tube. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, back in December, I did a video on Cyclops, which was from the movie The Big Bus. Now, Cyclops was a gigantic, double-decker, articulated, nuclear-powered bus that was basically the star of that 1976 movie. Now, 3 years later, in 1979, the NBC television network debuted a new television show called Supertrain. And what was Supertrain? Well, it was the story of a super huge, double-decker, nuclear-powered train that ran from New York to Los Angeles. The television show ended up being a total flop. But the train itself was really fascinating. And so that's what we're going to look at in this video. Now, similar to my Cyclops, the Big Bus video, I'm not going to talk about the plot line or the episodes of this TV show or the actors or the characters. I'm only going to talk about the train. It's a really fascinating story. So let's get started in learning about Supertrain. Let's imagine an alternate reality for a moment. A fifth dimension where in place of the much maligned quasi-governmental passenger rail operations known as Amtrak, America will have a super futuristic high-speed train built by a modern-day James J. Hill. Instead, we have the Trans-Allied Corporation, headed by a group of super wealthy businessmen who announced a new nuclear-powered double-decker railway. And within 22 months of Trans-Allied revealing the project in the late 1970s, it became a reality. Well, on the NBC television network, at least. And what would this new train be called? It would be known as Supertrain! Operating out of New York's Grand Central Station, it would speed across the country to Los Angeles, making stops in Chicago, Denver, and an unnamed city in Texas. It would run on its own right-of-way similar to the Japanese Shinkansen or French TGV, but would be of a very broad track gauge. Although capable of speeds of over 200 miles per hour, it would take Supertrain 36 hours to make the entire cross-country run, averaging about 78 miles per hour, which would put it well below other high-speed trains of even the late 1970s. Supertrain is full of luxury, and it's equipped with amenities more appropriate to a cruise ship. It has a swimming pool, shopping centers, a gym, a library, a medical center, a discotheque, and a business communications car. The cost of a one-way ticket was quoted as $450, which would be $1,993 in 2025. There is mention in one Supertrain episode that it's a partially federally subsidized operation. Interestingly, Supertrain has some similarities to the planned but never built supersized luxury Breitsperbahn of 1930s Germany. Did the businessmen of Trans-Allied or even NBC know about this? It's a question we do not have the answer to. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of Supertrain. Number 1. Length of each car is 64 feet, and there are 9 cars in the consist for a total length of 576 feet for only one set ordered and built. Number 2, width is 26 feet. Number 3, height to top of passenger cars is 22 feet. Number 4, track gauge is often quoted as 10 feet, but from the models it appears to be about 18 feet. Number 5, weight is approximately 300,000 pounds per passenger car. Number 6, power source is a nuclear reactor, possibly a scaled-down version of an A4W pressurized water reactor similar to what is used on a U.S. Navy Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, as well as Cyclops from The Big Bus. Number 7, passenger capacity is not known, but given a combination of coach and compartment cars, it should range between 600 to 700 passengers for the entire consist. And finally, number 8, top speed is supposedly 250 miles per hour, but often would not top 190 miles per hour, with an average speed of about 78 miles per hour. Supertrain was the most expensive TV series ever aired on American television up to that time. The production was beset by problems, including a model train that had a spectacular crash. NBC paid $10 million for a total of 3 sets of trains, a full-size train with enormous passenger cars and station platforms, and 2 model train sets with associated landscapes and structures at 1:9.6 and 1:48 scales for outside shots. To get things done fast, NBC brought in art director Ned Parsons, who built the entire train from scratch in just over 3 months. He took his job very seriously, studying existing train systems and those planned for the future. According to a quote from Mr. Parsons,
"I visited libraries and railroad museums for miles around, reading about trains and studying their designs. I also requested material from all over the world. I learned that the most modern trains operating today are in Japan and Canada. I corresponded with their national railways for details about these trains."
Parsons moved from his Newport Beach, California home to the MGM studio lot. On call 24 hours a day, he supervised a staff of over 200 construction workers who worked around the clock in 3 shifts. After the show ended, AHM, a major model railroad manufacturer of the time, bought one of the Supertrain models and tried to sell it for $25,000, but couldn't. The model changed hands several times and was sold again in 2018 to a collector in Hagerstown, Maryland. While the series was heavily advertised during the 1978 to 1979 season, it received poor reviews and low ratings, and was quickly canceled. And so ended America's fling with a cruise ship on rails that apparently derailed itself. And so there it is, the story of Supertrain, the greatest train that America never had. Now, I actually remember seeing Supertrain when I was a kid, watching it on Channel 4 in New York City, and I was really excited about it because it was a TV show about this super futuristic looking train. However, it was really disappointing, and it was just a terrible show to watch. Now, if you are interested, there are episodes of Supertrain on YouTube. There's the 2-hour pilot, as well as 9 other 1-hour episodes, and I believe most of the episodes can be found. However, the video is of such poor quality that it's probably not even worth watching. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at Supertrain! And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.